Go.
Hey ladies and gentlemen, this is Michael with One-Eyed Fat Man Studios. It's been a while since I've posted a video. Been sick. Had COVID. Not fun. Second time around. Anyway, hope you all are doing better than that. This piece that I'm working on is called Nemesis. Now, Nemesis is from a series of books by Jeremy Robinson. It is a story about a genetically created kaiju. You can get these books on Kindle or Amazon Prime. I've read them all. They're amazing books. I made Nemesis about 4 years ago out of clay, and my wife really loved it. It was a very nice piece. I was very proud of it, but my armature did not hold up. So she fell apart, made my wife cry, and so here we are getting ready to do round two. And since my wife loved Nemesis and she's my cameraman over there, camera person, right?
Yeah.
Is that the right way to say it?
Get it right. Political police will come after you.
The what?
You don't get it right. Political police will come after you.
PC police will come after me? That's okay. I've been married more than once. I know how to deal with political police. Anyway, laying down these aluminum cooking or baking sheets, leftovers from my kids' wrestling. They wanted to use chairs and stuff, so my wife got this bright idea of using aluminum cookie sheets for them to use as chairs and stuff to pretend wrestle with each other and with their father, whom they proceeded to beat mercilessly with the cookie sheets.
I forget the mayonnaise jar.
Oh yeah, and then there was the killer mayonnaise jar. That's on my wife's Facebook, so you know my wife, go check out her Facebook. The kids had a blast, and I must say I enjoyed it quite well myself. So, that being said, as you see, I'm bulking out the armature with this aluminum, so it will work for saving on clay. Monster Clay Gray is now coming in a much smaller container for the same price. So, yeah, I've got to save some money somewhere. But as you see, it's a very fun and interesting process making an armature. A lot of times I would use masking tape or duct tape, but I just didn't feel like going out and getting any. This is really my first week back to sculpting after having COVID, and once I'm done here, I will actually probably go home and go to bed fairly quickly. I stay tired. I don't have a lot of energy, so take it for what it is, folks. Pay attention. This Delta variant is nothing to laugh at or to joke around about. It is brutal. So, that being said, just pay attention. One thing I will say is a public service announcement. If you've not heard of it, you need to go to the CDC website and look up COVID fog. It is an actual side effect or symptom, and it is deadly. My Mother-in-law almost lost her life for refusing to go to the hospital because of her mind being in a fog and her not thinking rationally. The doctor told us about it once we finally were able to get her into the hospital. And I'm here to tell you, 24 hours later, my mother-in-law would be dead. So guys, just pay attention to it. Be smart. Now what you see here is the armature. I've used regular armature wire, 2 different gauges. The larger gauge here, the smaller here. For this armature, we have put a lot of just regular box tape in places. The tail will not have anything built up on it except for what you're seeing right here, which will counterbalance the weight of the head and the arms, because her forearms are very long. Now, any place that I've used tape, I try to go over it with very thin floral wire. You can get this roll for $4.99 at Hobby Lobby in their floral department. I'm going to start right here below the knee and just put this on here real quick and then start wrapping it around. Now, this gives the areas that have tape on them something for the clay to catch onto, because the box tape is very slick and the clay has a hard time attaching to it or holding on to it. It can do that even with stuff like duct tape. It's just a surface that the clay doesn't hold on to very well. We're going to pull that up and we're going to go around this body. Let's take these arms up. I design a lot of my armatures where the legs and arms will move, and when I'm ready to put them in that final position before I put clay on it, a lot of times I will put Aves on it so when it dries it's hard, and that way I don't have to worry about failures in the joints. So what I'll do with this before I leave tonight is I will mix up some Aves sculpting epoxy and I will put in these areas, and that way I don't have to worry about the armature failing in places. So where did I just put the wire? Still need some more wire there. So I'm going to pull some more off. You hear John Wayne there from McClintock. My kids, when they call me, the ringtone, or my ringtone for them is, I call that bold talk for a one-eyed fat man. So my kids are like, why? And I'm like, because it's John Wayne and it's cool and that's the studio got its name from. And they're like, but why? And I'm like, oh my God. You gotta love them, right, dear?
Yep.
And you see what I'm doing here is giving this shoulder some support. See? So, as I come back around, down through here, then I'll bring it over and under. Feel like a freaking basket weaver sometimes. And I am very into strengthening the armatures because I've had some really good pieces lost. The original Nemesis I did years ago, like I said, the armature failed, and that was a big deal because that was a very good piece. I had been back into sculpting for about a year at that point, and it was one of the best pieces that I feel that I had done up to that point. And when she collapsed, it was heart-wrenching, wasn't it, dear?
Yep.
She don't like to talk. She hates it whenever I take one of my pieces apart. And sometimes I'll do that. The good thing about Monster Clay is it's reusable. And even putting it on something like this, it's reusable. So you have this fantastic preacher that you sculpt and somebody doesn't buy it, so you can make something else. But that wasn't the case with her. But here she is. Her position will probably be more along the lines of maybe one of the arms down and one kind of reaching out. The tail will stay curled. She has a blade-like end to her tail. We really enjoy doing these videos. We enjoy sharing things with you. So the next thing in this process is going to be some clay. Now, this is not normally how I do it, but I'm going to show you because it's easier. I've rolled some out, and basically all I'm going to do is go in and lay these sheets across the sculpture. Okay, and come over here and put some more on it. Now, this clay, like I said, is reusable as long as it's kept clean. If you've worked with monster clay, you either love it or you hate it. I really enjoy it. I think it's one of the best clays out there. I don't do a lot with polymer clays because I don't like the way it feels when I'm working with it. It's too sticky, and I don't feel that I'm getting what I need out of that clay. Now, as you see, this is something I've taken apart. We're going to put it in the microwave for 2. Then we're going to go 3 minutes on it. Then we're going to warm it up. And I'm going to have my wife pause the video, and I will be back momentarily.
Okay.
Okay, we're back. We've got the clay warmed up, and we're going to start putting some of it on. Like I said, this was another sculpture that we broke down. And as you can see, monster clay, when it's warm, moves real well. I mean, you can liquefy monster clay. And it might be a little difficult for some people, but since I've started using it, I love it. It's really helped keep down some of the time involved. I mean, you know, here you see clay. But as that cools off, so it's like, of course, don't stick your hand in it if it's bubbling. If you've turned it into lava, don't put your hand in it. But the more you use it, the less it will bother you temperature-wise. It can burn you. It can leave blisters. But, you know, as with anything, be smart. We're listening to Home Free, so they're an a cappella group. If you don't know who they are, you can find their CDs at Walmart and Cracker Barrel. I know that because they say it in every video, but they are really good. I really like them. We're listening to a concert that they gave on. We're watching it here on YouTube. A lot of times I'll listen to soundtracks. I'll re-listen to gospel. I'll listen to contemporary Christian. I'll listen to rock from the 50s through to modern. I'll listen to heavy metal. It just really depends the mood I'm in. Right? You want to go ahead and lock the door? Why?
They're fixing to open the door.
Okay. So, but as you see, I'm just putting the clay on in areas, filling it in. Hello.
Hey,
If y'all need any help with anything, let me know.
thanks, sir.
Everything on this side of the store is 20% off.
Okay, cool.
We want to make sure that when we're working on it, you're just blocking it in with clay, basically. Like if this was a sketch, you would just be putting in dark colors, blocking in things, getting it ready for a more detailed pass over. It's important that you don't immediately start into... I think starting detailing at this point before you have stuff blocked in is really a bad idea, because you're going to be handling this clay a lot. So you want to work from certain areas into certain areas where you're not going back and having to touch them all the time. So just pay attention to that when you're working on a piece. Like I said, measure out your wire. I think we measured this at 5 foot, or just 4.5 foot, and that extra half foot was, once we braided it, it would come down to 4 foot. I mean, if you look at the zombie Godzilla over here, he was 6 foot from the tip of his nose to the tip of his tail. But once you braid him, he's going to be a lot shorter. So he's probably a little over 5 foot over there. The first brown Godzilla is 4 foot. So starting to do these big pieces 2 years ago, and I've really enjoyed doing them. Sometimes it can be a real bear to move them so you can get to a certain area with tools. But before that, I really hadn't sculpted anything much bigger than about 18 inches. And once I started doing them like this, I was like, hey man, I like this. I can get more detail. But of course, once again, that comes into using wire, using aluminum. I've used paper. The zombie Godzilla's entire torso is a cardboard box. There's only about that much clay around that box. But it was designed, because he was such a big piece, to keep him lightweight. And he's still got 20 pounds of clay in him already. Ow, man, I just stabbed myself. So remember, you gotta bleed for your art. So, and trust me, I've done that numerous times where I've bled for my work. You want to keep just... There are going to be places where you have the foil where it's going to have dips and grooves that you're going to have to fill in with clay. That's okay. Go ahead and do it, because after you get done with this, you're going to start adding more to bulk him up just to take it away through detailing. So get him as close to just like, we'll say anorexic Godzilla, to where he's nothing but a beanpole, and then add, and then take away through the detailing. I don't draw. I can draw, not great, but I know a lot of people that will like start with a charcoal page and then use an eraser to actually make their photo that they're trying to draw, or their picture. So that's always kind of amazed me how they do that. And it's very similar. Basically, I do an add and subtract process when I'm working on these sculptures. And it works. I will hand sculpt scales. The brown Godzilla, every scale was sculpted one scale at a time and then put on one at a time. So, just so you know that.
Let him go back there and look at those figures.
Yeah, you can go back there and look at them.
Oh, that's okay. Thank you. I just cleaned up the glasses.
And as you see, we're just... Because you see that it's already changing position. And that's because of the weight. Now this thing will eventually, at the knees, come up some. And you see, that's going to cause issues. So you want to keep it in a neutral position until you're ready. I don't want to pull out a picture of Nemesis and show it to you all, because what I want to do is I want to sculpt the piece, get it done, then show you a picture of her, and then show you the finished piece at the end. Because The first one I did, I had so much difficulty finding photos of her. And then I wound up relying mainly on artwork by Matt Frank. Have a good day.
Okay.
And it was very fun. Go ahead and lock the door and I'll turn off the sign, huh? So we're getting down to the part where we're probably fixing to leave. And I've got quite a bit of decent work done on her just today. I mean, she didn't exist before 5 p.m. in any shape or fashion in this store. So, once again, putting on the clay, taking away what you don't need. Add, subtract, add, subtract. That's the key. And that's where we're at right now. Now, guys, I know that some of you that watch sculpting videos on YouTube are amazing sculptors. You have done amazing pieces. There are people like Claymates, Craft Bro Channel, Ace of Clay. These people are great, fantastic. I don't sculpt in that style. I do it this way. And one of the things I will say is those guys' techniques can be used with monster clay because they've all sculpted in monster clay a little bit. The difference is what part of monster clay are you willing to replace with polymer clay? I use eyeballs, teeth, toenails, bone, horns. I do all those out of polymer clay, bake them, and put them on. So you're going to see some mixed media with this guy. So just be prepared. We will get there. Hit the like button if you like the video. Hit subscribe. Check us out on Patreon, Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter. If you're in the Knoxville area, come by the store and I'll be here sculpting. And as always, thanks for just watching. Thanks for letting me be a part of your life for a short period of time. And as always, I'm Michael with One-Eyed Fat Man Studios, and I'll catch you next time.